When we hear the term disability, what we imagine is a weak figures who need help in their activities. But wait a minute, your image will definitely change 180 degrees if you meet one of the following people with disabilities. In fact, having a disability does not limit them for working. The following are the most inspiring people disabled according to Top 7.
Even though she was born without hands, Jessica Cox, an American woman, is able to carry out activities like a normal person. The woman born in 1983 is able to write, drive, and climb cliffs. Patrick Chamberlain's wife successfully completed her education, majoring in psychology, University of Arizona. Apart from scuba diving, Jessica has also enjoyed practicing Taekwondo since the age of 10. In October 2008, Jessica succeeded in obtaining a certificate as a pilot. She is qualified to fly light aircraft up to a height of 10,000 feet. Jessica took flight training through an Able Flight Scholarship for 3 years. 2009, Jessica received a modified Coupe 415C that allowed her to control the yoke with one foot while the other foot controlled the throttle. Jessica is listed in the Guinness World Record as the only pilot to fly with her feet. She also won several awards, including the Inspiration Award for Woman 2012 and Tucson Woman of the Year. Jessica received an honorary doctorate from Universidad Santander in 2023. Now, at the age of 44, Jessica is active as a motivator. She has also written an autobiographical book entitled Disarm Your Limits. Born under normal conditions on June 8, 1948, Stephen Hawking has intelligence equivalent to Albert Einstein. He studied physics at Oxford University College. Hawking took the specification of cosmology, which is the study of the universe. In 1963, before his 21st birthday, Hawking was diagnosed with a motor neuron disease that attacks motor neurons, namely Lou Gehrig's or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. ALS is a condition where motor nerve cells in the brain or spinal cord are damaged or die. As a result, the muscles controlled by these nerve cells weaken. Sufferers will experience paralysis or even death. At that time, doctors predicted that Hawking would only be able to survive 2 years. However, the doctor's diagnosis did not come true. Even 3 years later, Hawking managed to get a doctorate. However, his health condition deteriorated, and he was even forced to sit in a wheelchair for all his activities. His condition got worse when in 1985 he had to undergo a tracheotomy, which caused Hawking to lose his voice. To speak, he changed his cheek movements into electronic sounds. Hawking won the title of Lucasian Professor of Mathematics, a title that put him on a par with Sir Isaac Newton, a physicist who discovered many of the laws of physics, one of which was the law of gravity. Apart from studying physics, Hawking has also published many books, both fiction and non-fiction. A Brief History of Time is a bestseller published in 1988. Hawking's physical limitations apparently could not stop him from continuing to work. Hawking once said,
"I have suffered from motor neuron disease most of my adult life, but it has not prevented me from having a wonderful family and being successful in my work."
Stephen Hawking finally died in 2018 at the age of 76.
Just like Stephen Hawking, Paul Alexander was born normally on January 30, 1942 in Dallas, United States. However, the polio epidemic that hit the world at that time changed Paul's life. At the age of 6 in 1952 he experienced total paralysis, and because he underwent an emergency thoracostomy he had to use an iron lung to breathe. 2 years of hospitalization, the hospital began to be pessimistic about Paul Alexander's condition. Finally, the family decided to treat him at home and bring the iron lung home. If there was a power outage, his father, assisted by neighbors, would pump the iron lung so that Paul could continue to breathe. After his condition improved, Paul slowly learned the frog breathing technique. With this breathing technique, Paul could leave his iron lung for a moment. After he was exhausted, he would re-enter the iron lung. However, all the limitations did not stop Paul's life. Spending all his time in a very large iron lung required Paul to undergo education from his home. He graduated from the first school in an independent school electricity, and at the age of 21 in 1967 he graduated from W.W. Samuel High School. He became the first person to graduate without ever attending a face-to-face class. After that, Paul received a scholarship to study at Southern Methodist University, but then transferred to the University of Texas at Austin. There Paul earned a bachelor's degree in 1978 and a professional degree of Doctor of Laws in 1984. He had been a teacher of legal terminology for court stenographers at a trade school before taking the oath as a professional lawyer in 1986. Although initially many prospective clients doubted Paul's abilities, in the end Paul was able to practice his profession as a lawyer for more than 30 years. Apart from being a lawyer, Paul also managed to write a book entitled 3 Minutes of a Dog, My Life in an Iron Lung. Although it took him 8 years to complete the book. Finally, Paul Alexander died on March 11, 2024 after spending almost 72 years in an iron lung. No one knows exactly when Kanya Sesser was born. A woman found baby Kanya on September 13, 1992 at a Buddhist temple in Thailand. Kanya was abandoned by her biological parents because she was disabled. Yes, she doesn't have 2 legs. Kanya was cared for by an orphanage until he was 5 years old. A family from United States then adopted Kanya and brought her to America. Even though she was born disabled, it didn't mean Kanya had low self-esteem. She became a beautiful and confident girl. Because of her high self-confidence, no one dared to bully her. She was even chosen to be a cheerleader. Kanya even prefers a skateboard for walking rather than a wheelchair. Kanya is very skilled at using a skateboard. He also really masters the sport of surfing. Her agility and high self-confidence have made Kanya successful as a sportswear model for the Billabong brand. Not only sports clothes, it seems they are also a model of women's underwear. Kanya changed the paradigm that a sexy woman must have a perfect body with long legs. Apart from being a model, Kanya is also a skateboard athlete who competed in the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea. Kanya also became an artist and starred in several television series, including as zombie in the series The Walking Dead. In 2025, she will also set a Guinness World Record for the longest handstand on a skateboard. She managed to stand on the skateboard for 19.65 seconds. Hongyan, a swimming athlete from China, was born as a normal child, but at the age of 4 she had a car accident which caused her to lose half of her body, including both legs. Hongyan's parents made a basketball with a hole in it to support her body and used 2 tools such as cement spoons as paddles. With this tool, Hongyan was able to walk, so she was nicknamed the basketball girl. In 2005 she just received help with a prosthetic leg from the Chinese Rehabilitation Center in Beijing. Qian Hongyan honed her swimming talent by joining the Hongyan Swimming Club, local swimming club for disabled people. Pursuing swimming is certainly not an easy thing for Hongyan, considering that this sport requires both hands and feet to move. However, with regular practice of 4 hours per day, Hongyan succeeded in establishing himself as a great swimming athlete. Even though the coach was initially pessimistic, Hongyan won a gold medal in the breaststroke swimming event at the 2014 Yunnan Provincial Paralympic Championships. Hongyan also still has big dreams of being able to compete in international swimming competitions. Maybe Victoria Salcedo didn't expect that her action of touching a cable with a stick would have fatal consequences. At the age of 6 she suffered very serious injuries to both hands and her right leg. As a result, doctors had to amputate both hands and her right leg. This girl, who was born very beautiful, was forced to become disabled at a very young age. However, instead of lamenting her condition, Victoria has become a confident girl. She uses his remaining legs for activities such as writing, combing her hair and dressing up. At the age of 19, a modeling talent scout discovered Victoria, who lived in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Her beautiful appearance made Victoria a famous professional model. In 2021, she will even try her luck at the Miss Ecuador event. Even though she failed to become Miss Ecuador, Salcedo has succeeded in conveying the message that beauty is not always seen from a perfect physique. Now, apart from being a model, Victoria is also active as an influencer. Handry Satriago is a successful entrepreneur who has been named the youngest CEO of General Electric Indonesia. Born in normal conditions, Handry had to sit in a wheelchair from the age of 17 after he escaped lymph node cancer. Even though he had to sit in a wheelchair, Handry was still determined to continue studying. In fact, he succeeded in obtaining a dual master's degree in management from the IPMI Management College and Monash University in 1997. In 2010, Handry succeeded in obtaining a doctorate from the University of Indonesia. Since 1997, Handry has joined General Electric, the largest electrical company in the world. General Electric has companies in various countries including Indonesia. His career at the company based in the United States skyrocketed. In fact, during his 26-year career at General Electric, Handry managed to become CEO. But unfortunately in 2023, Handry passed away at the age of 54. The cancer he had when he was a teenager relapsed. Handry Satriago shows that the disability he suffers from does not break his enthusiasm for life. They are the most inspiring people disabled according to Top 7.